Hey, what's up, guys? It's B Girl, catch me if you can. DJ Sammii Blendz, and be sure to tune in to DNC Radio and definitely subscribe to that DNC Digital.
It's your boy D from DNC Digital back with another episode of DNC Radio. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks, about a month since I've done my last episode with Dave Campos, Stud Stash Enforcer. I appreciate you guys listening. I got a great response from that episode. And this is somebody I got on this week that I've been chasing for a few months, and I'm so glad I got her here. She's an awesome DJ, one of the biggest in New York. She's been co-signed by DJ Drewski, who you've seen on Love and Hip Hop. He's a huge Hot 97 DJ. She's been co-signed by Funkmaster Flex, along with her thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram. DJ Sammii Blendz, what's going on, girl? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Man, I'm good. I can't really complain. Working hard.
It sounds like you're working hard. You're losing your voice already.
Yeah, most definitely. Like the weekend kind of kicked my ass a bit. Excuse my French.
No worries. It's all good here. We celebrate and embrace all different types.
Oh, nice, man, nice. Yeah, man, I see you out here killing it with the interviews and stuff like that. I'm definitely excited to be a part of your full experience.
I appreciate that, and I'm definitely excited to have you on. Originally from the Bronx, Parkside Projects, is that correct?
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised. Tell me how it was in the Bronx. I mean, I know it sounds like a cliche question, but some people that don't know, how would you explain it to them? How would you explain your childhood to somebody who's not from New York?
Hey, I mean, I would say like growing up in the Bronx, like especially in a Latin household and stuff like that, like you get what I mean, like you go through like your trials and tribulations, like I would say there are a lot of dangers out there in the streets and stuff like that. You constantly gotta watch your bag, really be careful about who you mix and marinate with. You know what I'm saying? You always play it as a statistic, especially coming from where I come from. That it's like it's like the gutters. Like I come from the trenches. So I would just tell anybody that's never visited the Bronx or anything of the sort, like, just make sure you know somebody in the neighborhood.
That's it. And so, but when you go into the Bronx, I'm a big foodie. Where would you grab the best plate of food in the Bronx?
Best plate of food in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? I would say, damn, that's tough, man, because there's a lot of Latin restaurants running up and down, and even the chicken spots is like authentic.
Oh yeah, no, don't nobody know about the chicken shacks over there.
Now, let me tell you something. There's nothing like a chicken spot from the Bronx. Like, I'm telling you, man, that's probably gonna be the best chicken that you eat. Like up there on Allerton Avenue, yo, my dudes cook with their heart and soul in there. So I would say right there, the chicken spot. That's one of my favorite places.
Chicken spots on Allerton Avenue. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you turned 7 years old, or around the time you were 7 years old, your mom left your life. You want to elaborate on that, and how did that like mold you when you were going into your formative years?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was, my mom's fell into like a lot of the wrong paths and stuff like that. Like she, she committed her mistakes as any human being. You get what I'm saying? With her leaving my life, I did go through a little bit of a rebellion stage, probably when I was around my teen years, that I was like at a real hard-headed stage and stuff like that because, my grandmother was kind of obligated to kind of like take me in because it was either that or I go straight into the system. That's another story. I would say that, when like she came back in around the time I was 15 and stuff, so she missed a huge chunk of my life, but I would just say that I'm grateful that, she got cleaned up in the whole nine and tried to screw her head back on. And I was more accepting of the fact when me and her finally had like a conversation when she did come back around and stuff, that it's like I don't hold no hate to my heart, like for it, if that kind of makes sense. I feel like I mixed up my words.
No, yeah, of course. But between the ages of 7 and 15, living in the Bronx, just like the way you described it, did you feel like you were stuck? Did you feel like this is gonna be it, or did you have some type of thing in your head to say, I gotta get out?
I think it was one of those moments in my life that it was kind of like from a young age, I was kind of like slammed on with like certain responsibilities because as soon as like my mom left and stuff, like my grandma wasn't able to take me in right away. So I was couch crashing in one of my cousin's house, which my aunt at the time, she was very like regulated and stuff like that because it was three of us. So it was kind of like everybody had to hold their own responsibilities and stuff. It wasn't really one of those moments in my life that it was like, oh, I'm gonna, I'm going through this and I have the opportunity to really be a kid. Like, you get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I had to hold up my ends, and it helped me be a stronger person, like a stronger individual and more understanding to life and more compassionate about like the good things that do come along. That I rarely have like a negative outlook on life. You get what I'm saying?
Would you credit that because of your rough upbringing? Do you think if you lived with your mom or your mom didn't have her troubles, do you think you would have been a totally different person and you would have maybe looked at life totally different, maybe not like appreciated what you had?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it still would have been a little rough and stuff because like my mom didn't have the greatest job in the world and all that, but I think I definitely would have had a different outlook. I probably would have been a little more stubborn and hard headed, I would say, only because my mom's is one of those she's one of those people that like she'll no matter if I'm doing something negative or positive, like she'll kind of be the support system instead of trying to like talk me out of doing certain things in life, like if that kind of makes sense.
No,
I'm
yeah,
not,
I definitely do.
yeah, like she's not a bad woman or anything of the sort. I know she does things with good intentions and stuff, but it's kind of like the structure aspect of things. I would say she's never really had that. But I mean, I would say the love factor, I mean, was there.
Do you in a weeks ago you put on Instagram that your grandmother used to say, on your worst days you got to smile harder. Can you talk about your relationship with your grandma between the ages of 7 and 15 and what she means to you?
Oh man, my grandma's my whole entire world. She's definitely a very strong woman, very misunderstood, and one that speaks her mind, whether it's gonna hurt you or anything of the sort. Like she's one of those like people that just rather tell the truth than ever tell a lie. When it comes down to my grandma, I would just say, like she played the real strength in my life, like to where it was like she always told me if you fall, like she wasn't gonna help me get back up or anything of the sort. She'll tell me, listen, she'll look at me and all that. And any times I've ever self-destructed or completely collapsed as a human being or anything, she just straight up looked at me and said, listen, I'm not gonna be around forever. I'm sorry, I apologize.
You're good.
She always tells me, I'm not gonna be around forever or anything of the sort, so you can't really rely on somebody to always pick you back up when you're down. So you got to get yourself. So like she gave me the love that I would say I needed and stuff, but it was more like she was very hard on me. My grandma's big on like tough love. Like she doesn't really believe that when you have to face certain obstacles and challenges in your life, that the emotional factor always has to play.
Right.
So she's very she has a huge heart, great personality and everything of the sort, but her strength is one of the things that shine out. And that's one thing I adore about her. That no matter what, it's like, through everything she's ever been through or anything of the sort, she's like, every day is a constant battle, but you gotta laugh before you hit the light at the end of the tunnel. Like you don't want to live your life with any regret or remorse.
Tell me about your relationship with music when you were a kid. Before you decided that you were going to be a DJ. Tell me about you said you listened to a lot of reggae, and I'm really interested in these crates of vinyls that your uncle left.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, like I used to mess around with his records a lot. Like back when I was still like younger, because we used to live in the Grand Concourse and stuff, so it was like a 4-bedroom apartment. So it was a bunch of us still living there when I was still like a kid and stuff. So I used to sneak into his closet, grab out his crates and stuff like that, and try to get the vinyl working because we used to have a vinyl set up with some speakers in our living room. Now when it came to that and stuff like that, I never honestly, yeah, I was sitting there breaking my head, and come to find out a couple of years down the road, the vinyl was broken.
It was
So
broken the
it
entire
was
time.
and I was literally there breaking my head. So that was when like the CD era, because I was born in the 90s. So, the CD era was coming in. So I used to like take his CDs. I used to end up scratching them up, putting them in and out of the radio, throwing them around the house. Like up until I got older, that after my mom left the apartment and stuff, everything was in storage. I took those vinyls into my boy's crib, and we got to like really buzzing on what those records really were. Huge on
I
Bob
looked up.
Marley, man.
I looked up your YouTube, and you have old videos, like 8, 9 years ago.
Oh my
You,
God.
I looked those up, and you know what? And you said it in a past interview. It was just a laptop, a dream, and an aux cord. And
Yeah.
I love the sound of that. And so, when did you? I mean, I'm sure you started it as a hobby, but I'm curious to know, when did you decide that I'm gonna be a DJ? I'm not gonna work here and DJ on the weekends. No, I'm gonna be a DJ.
Oh yeah. That was at the age before I even started DJing. Like I used to dance and stuff like that. Like I used to actually like break dance, and I wanted to like be like the Jabberwockies one day. I swear to God. Like I was a part of a bunch of dance teams the whole nine. And when I was 15,
Hmm.
that my mom, she really came back in and stuff like that. She had a job that she actually she got her income tax for like the first time in like years, like from what I've ever remember or whatever. She bought me my first laptop, and like the very first day that I received that laptop, I had a bunch of friends that were like DJs at like house parties and stuff like that. So I called up one of my homies. I was like, "Yo, can I get the DJ program?" And at the time, the house party scene was like huge in the Bronx. Like I'm telling you, it was better than half the clubs I go to today. Like it was like ridiculous. Always had DJs. It was like it was crazy. So that night I hit up one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, like I have a laptop. I'm gonna get the program. I have a bunch of music. Like, how about you just let me DJ the party and stuff? I'll do it for free." And literally the first day, my friend gave me the software. It was virtual DJ. I DJed my very first house party right then and there.
That same night, right?
Yeah, that exact same night. Like my homie was just like, "Listen, you press this. Like since you're still learning the music and stuff, it was like this little sync button."
Hmm.
So, but I mean, due to the fact, like I used to really, like I actually used to dance. Like I used to pop like I was real into the dance world. That like, like on the music end of things, I felt like I had the advantage of that because blending came like second nature to me.
Yeah, because you already knew when to use the fader, like at what point of the beat and when the beat dropped, or not in the middle of the bar. You already knew how to exactly switch into the next song.
Not yet for sure. And I was like a music junkie. Like I used to have computers that like they'll crash because I had too much music on there. So
Yeah, those are the days of LimeWire.
yes.
Everybody remembers. If you're not old enough to remember LimeWire, you need to look it up. That
Um,
that's that's what we had to do. We had to sit there and wait like minutes upon minutes for this one song to come in. Um, so
no,
as a DJ, I know that you have like great nights, and I know you have like awesome nights, and you got the whole place popping. If anybody watches, or excuse me, anybody listening right now, DJ Sammii Blendz on Instagram, check it out. All these parties are nuts. They look like they're insane. And so I'd like to know if you can go deep into your memory and tell me the worst night you had as a DJ.
the worst night I had as a DJ.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, okay. I got you right now. I missed this huge, 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 huge opportunity because sometimes opportunities presents itself and you find yourself at a fork in the road as to try to figure out which one is more beneficial than the other, and if you're willing to like tank one connection and go off with another. Um, I would say I was DJing this boat party. Well, I was supposed to go DJ. I'm not gonna say absolutely no names or anything of the sort. So the dude hired DJs, but it was more of an artist kind of event. So
Oh,
pretty much it's just like people would get tickets to go to this boat party and the whole nine, and it's just underground artists rapping for like 8 hours straight. Like, which I appreciate new music and I appreciate everybody's hustle, but there's a lot of bad music out there. You get what I'm saying? Like
There's ones that they just have boys that wear the T-shirt that says when the album's coming out. They're just
yeah,
supposed to
like
hype
no,
them
it
up.
was terrible. So that very night, one of my dudes, because I already set into stone this booking probably a month prior to that. So one of my dudes hit me up. He was like, "Yo, Sam, listen, like right now, I can get you a set with me right here at the Glam Awards." Like it was the night of the Glam Awards. So I'm like,
Okay.
"What?" I'm like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" So it was kind of like I was at a fork in the road. Like literally, I had just parked in the parking lot for the boat party, and I was literally like contemplating on, yo, should I just leave and not even show up and just seize the moment? One of
Right.
those things. So, I ended up going with the boat party because I don't really like burning bridges because I feel like it just comes back and bites you.
Hmm.
So I really missed out on that opportunity for the Glam Awards and stuff like that. So that kind of like that still carries with me till this day. But I mean, I feel like eventually, I'll stumble back on bigger opportunity down the road. Like I said, I don't really have a negative outlook on life.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that. And I know you probably credited to your grandma and the kind of upbringing that you had, and you want to appreciate everything you got in front of you. But talk to me about positive energy, because we had this conversation the other day. A lot of people in the world, they're gonna put bad comments or they're gonna look at you up and down. But then when you hit somebody that really is happy for you and really supportive, it's such a great feeling. And I can say the same thing about what I do. So, how do you feel about the positive energy you got and what you bring to other people, and how you can help them maybe escape the bad day that they had just from coming into one of your parties?
No, of course. I mean, I would just say like my thing is energy. Like literally, I believe in walking into a building. It could be literally one person there, or it could be 1 million people around. You understand what I'm saying? Like whenever I go in to like go do a set, I literally put my heart on the set every single time. Like because at the end of the day, people go out to escape their daily routine. Like pretty much what the DJ is to create for these people and even the artists and performers and stuff like that. We're creating a vacation from your daily routine every single day. You understand? You should be able to walk into these places, feel good, feel happy, and the whole nine. So I'm a huge believer on positive energy and projecting that out. Like even if I'm having a bad day, I kind of have to like reconcile with myself right before I walk in. I kind of like do this premeditating thing and all that. And like I said, like I don't care who's in the building. You understand what I'm saying? Like it could be, like I said, one person or 1 million. I'm still gonna give you the full experience of escaping your daily life and your daily stress. Because at the
Um,
end,
no, no, go ahead, keep on.
oh no, yeah, like nah, like at the end of the day, like why would I give you more stress? Like I walk into certain buildings and DJs are just sometimes like horrible, and you see everybody in the club in a bad mood. Like it just blows everybody's, and half the time those clubs go to shit. Excuse my French.
No, no, don't worry about it. French is welcome here.
All
But
right,
talk to me
awesome.
about the meditation thing that you do before the shows. No matter what kind of day, your job is to bring this energy to people. So what do you do before you go out there?
I have like this pre-stage that even my wife knows and stuff like that. Uh, literally, like I just stay quiet. Like I don't want to speak to anybody or any of that because I like to believe like you never know who's listening. You understand what I'm saying? Um, like my blood, my heart rate goes up. Like my palms always get sweaty right before I DJ. Like I get extremely nervous. I get the jitters. Like I said, I don't really want to have conversation or anything of the sort. That I feel like it just builds my adrenaline within, and I just kind of like go into like this space in my mind that is just like it absolutely doesn't matter what's going on in my life. What does matter is like this moment that I'm about to project one of the main things that make me happy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge believer on not all of us are meant to live for ourselves. If
Wow.
that, yeah, like I go by that every single day. So I kind of like push all my shit to the side and all that, and I'm just like, yo, I've come across people that I've even come across like some certain even suicide cases and all that like they've done reached out to me in the whole nine, and they're like, listen, I've been following your story for some time, and more you're starting to uncover, and it's just like it makes me feel wholesome as a person. And I try to talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. It doesn't matter the following or any of that. Like literally, if I can sit down and have a conversation with anybody that's going through something, that will make me feel great. So that's why I love what I do so much. And
Man, Sammii, that's
what?
awesome. That's
Nah, thank
awesome.
you, man.
Hey, Sammii, when you look out into the crowd, do you see a lot of beards in the crowd?
I definitely do.
You do. That's awesome. So any of your listeners or any of your fans that are listening here can check out canyouhandlebar.com. It's an awesome facial hair product company, 95% natural ingredients in their scents, and everything made here in the good old US of A. You guys go on canyouhandlebar.com, use my promo code DNC Digital, and get 15% off. I live by these guys. These guys sent me a nice care package, and now I use it on my beard and my mustache, and I can hit that nice little handlebar mustache and make it look so sweet. So guys, go to canyouhandlebar.com, use my promo code DNC Digital, and get 15% off. So Sammii, let's go back to what you just said. You said some people aren't here to live for themselves. Music has been a big part of my life. I grew up in New Jersey, so that's how I know you, because my brother goes to all your shows. And
Awesome.
so it's been a big part of my life. So it's interesting to know, like, I'd like to know, how do you feel being that person that lets them escape? Like, how do you feel about this support that you've gotten? People coming up to you after shows, those people that had suicidal thoughts that you may have helped keep alive. What is that? How do you feel going home knowing that you did that for somebody?
I feel like I mean, it makes me feel like amazing. It makes me feel like not even good about myself. It makes me feel like that I'm actually making an impact on history in the sense, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, my ultimate dream isn't just to have like a legacy. Like, I want to make history. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, being that factor that was like played a part in somebody's life, that somebody literally sat there and were enlightened on certain things in their life, and they wanted to pursue things. That just makes me feel like beyond human. Like, I can't even explain that feeling. And I feel like that goes to anybody that loves what they do and really takes pride in like what they do and everything, like, and are really passionate.
Yeah, when you go into these parties, maybe you have an idea with which club you're going to, or what part of New York, or what part of New Jersey. But you even done Miami, right? You've done Miami. You did California.
Yeah.
Do you have sets planned, or do you maybe go in there and read the crowd and just switch it up as you go along?
Nah, I literally go in, I go and read the crowd. I mean, what plays a huge factor in my life is that I have like memory loss. Like, I can barely remember what I ate for breakfast. So,
Wow.
yeah, like literally I can't memorize a set even if I wanted to. It's terrible. Like, I literally just go in and I just feel people's energy. And I mean, my mentor and stuff like that, his name is DJ Mello, man. Shout out to him. He taught me a lot of like the techniques and stuff that I know. You know, like, he taught me how to read a crowd, like pretty much how to look around and how to jump around and see what really sticks and what really gives an impact to people, you know? But that also goes back to what you were saying about like energy.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm always hyper. Like, literally my whole life I live it hyper. I'm on a million
Right.
24/7.
I don't wanna forget. I don't want to just like jump all this time. I do know that you probably had some growing pains as a DJ. People think that if they have one house party and they played the music pretty cool on a CD and not like turntables, that I can DJ, I can do this, I can get a party jumping. Tell me about like the hard part of learning how to DJ.
The hard part about it was, I would say like, getting down like the technique in the sense of like learning the overall basics, because when I jumped into like DJing and stuff like that, I wanted to know everything about it, like right then and there at that moment. You get what I'm saying? And
You didn't have too much patience. You wanted to just be good immediately.
yeah, like I'm like a very hands-on kind of person. Like I'm not a person that like if you give me a textbook, I'm not gonna learn anything about it. If I go to a lecture and somebody's kind of like showing me examples and presenting what it is that they're trying to teach me, then I'm gonna pick up on it right away. I would say it was just my patience. I never really got ahead of myself or anything of the sort, but like I wanted to jump the gun and already get to like, all right, I just want to get to the good part.
Okay. Can you tell me one of the most frustrating moments of learning how to DJ?
Turntablism. Oh
Turntable.
my God, turntablism. Oh my God, I feel like I can still remember the first day I touched the turntable. It was the most aggravating situation of my life because people think like, oh, you just put your hand on it and you just scratch. No, like there's a whole technique to it that if you don't know how to hold the fader and hold the turntable a certain way, so like the record isn't still like playing while you're trying to make a motion to it,
Hmm.
like you'll like lose your shit. Like turntablism, I would not want to go back in time or ever forget how to use turntables to relive that moment.
Um, so the people that go to your parties obviously love music. They love to have a good time. And you're the one in charge of that. You just like you said earlier in the interview, you're the one in charge of letting them escape their day or their job or their boyfriend or girlfriend or just a girl's night out or a guy's night out. You're in charge of that. You're in charge of them having a good time. Now, tell me what does Sammii blend to have a good time? As far as like, do you listen to music now for work or do you listen to it still for entertainment as a fan?
Oh, and I listen to music like practically 24/7. I mean, besides like when I'm in a car, it's kind of weird. When I'm in a car, I like being in complete silence. Unless like there's people around because then it gets a little awkward.
Yeah, they just damn Sammy,
Yeah.
you're not even saying
Like how are you a vibe killer right now?
that.
It's so weird when I'm in a car, like I literally love my peace. Like I don't want to hear nothing. I barely even turn on the radio.
So that's your moment of silence. That's when Sammy can just chill for just a second. Because once you get back out the car, it's like you say, 1,000,000%.
Oh yeah, most definitely. A million percent like with dealing with work, socializing as well, have my family as well. So it's kind of like that's my peace and quiet.
So now when you listen to music, do you get to mentally do you get to listen to it as a music fan, or are you now okay? How can I work that into my set? Now they're probably gonna want that. They're probably gonna request this. You know.
No, yeah, I mean, the music I listen to, like, I would never spin at a club because it's not really like club music. Like
Okay, so what does Sammy Blends listen to then?
I'm usually, I stick to like my roots and stuff like that. Like, I love old school music. Like,
Hmm.
of course, the reggae plays a huge factor. Like I said, I listen to like a lot of old school hip hop, especially Pun, Big Pun, Eminem, all that. And one of my top favorite artists, I also listen to metal and stuff. I listen to Slipknot.
Oh, you listen to Slipknot.
What's crazy? That's the music that actually relaxes me and soothes me.
Relaxes you. So you don't even talk in the car and you listen to Slipknot to relax.
Yeah,
Ladies and
no,
gentlemen, Sammy Blends.
I'm one of a kind.
That's definitely an understatement. So now that we know your musical interests, what do you think about this? Well, I'm not gonna say it's new. I call it new because I technically I do not listen to this era's hip hop. What do you think about this hip hop? Being born and raised in the Bronx, knowing what New York City hip hop was at least.
I feel like music today, as far as it goes, like hip hop, I feel like we lost like lyricism. Like it's really what really sticks. Like it's all about the catchiness of a record nowadays. Like if your hook is strong enough, that's it. You have a hit because it's
Oh yeah.
easier for people to remember. I just feel like our generation now is like with the technology and everything. I don't want to call people dumb, but like we're a lot smarter in this era than I feel like what people were
I
back
don't
in the
I
day.
don't want to call you dumb, but you're not as smart.
Like, I mean, I just feel like in our days, it's all about like a strong hook. Like back in the day, it was all about like lyricism and stuff like that. Cause I study music as well. Like I even jump back to like the 50s and stuff just to hear like, just to keep my ears like on their toes. You get what I'm saying? I like testing and
Yeah.
pushing my limits.
Well, a lot of stuff gets recycled. I mean, Diddy was the guy who sampled everything, and then Kanye came along, and then you do hear stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s being put into the music that we listen to, and
Yeah,
then
most definitely.
the funny thing is that we used to bump that, and then now in this generation, when they sample something that I used to listen to, I get upset.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
feel like they don't put 100% into it?
Yeah, but it's almost hypocritical because I listened to "Through the Wire" by Kanye West, and it
Oh, yeah.
was Shaka Khan, and one of his best songs. But now I feel like there's a song out there that uses the same notes that was used in "It Wasn't Me" by Shaggy, and another one that uses the notes from Informer, and I get upset. But I'd like to know as another music fan. I'd like to know why is it that I get upset at this generation? Do you feel because it's a dumb generation, like not as smart?
I just feel like I said, I just feel like on the artist end of things, like the whole like lyricism is just lost. Like I mean, J. Cole is probably one of J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, I would say, and I always say his name, Joyner Lucas. They're trying to keep the
Oh
lyricism,
yes,
yeah,
yes, 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 yes.
alive. Like you get what I'm saying? I feel like right now we're in the era of producers and DJs. So on the producing end of things, the way that they resample those songs and the way that they crush it, I feel like it doesn't meet its ends with the artists that they be deciding to put on these records.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair to say.
You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like they're going a lot of producers what they do, and I mean in this business in general, it's all about clout. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate to
Yeah,
even say that.
yeah,
It's all about
uh-huh.
clout.
Yeah.
So
That was I had to ask some kid like what the hell it meant. Bro, I got clout. I was like, the hell does that even mean? What is this? You come here. Tell me what is this guy saying? He had to explain it to me. I'm like, man, just say you got fans. You got, I don't know, bro. You're popular. Just say you're popular.
yeah,
That's all you got to do.
yeah, clout's like the new thing.
Yeah. And Jesus, I mean, I do my interview thing, and then they're like, oh, you got clout? I was like,
what,
sure,
what
why
do
not?
you
Yeah,
mean?
okay, why not? Yeah, just if that finishes this conversation, then yes, I do.
No, but you see what I'm saying about this era? I don't think people are dumb. It's just just a little less smart. Let's just keep it like that.
You know what it was, and I was watching Pete Davidson's interview with Sean Evans on Hot Ones. I don't know if you watch that. It's a YouTube channel that they do an interview, and with every question they have to eat a hot or spicy wing. So
Oh my god.
yeah, so it makes people vulnerable. It makes for good TV. So he says that this generation is a lot more instant. Like they don't think behind their actions. It's just more like, oh, that's what it is. That's what's cool. Okay, I'm gonna do that. That's what's cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do. You know.
yeah, no,
So
it's definitely ridiculous.
all right. I want you to explain me this then, as somebody in the music business, because that's what I consider you to be. When I listened to the Humpty Dance by Digital Underground,
Oh yeah.
it's such a ridiculous song, has no meaning, and by traditional standards, it shouldn't be as popular as it is today. It shouldn't have lived this long, is what I'm saying, you know?
No, of
But
course.
when I hear this stuff now, that's just as ridiculous. Why is it that we bumped Humpty Dance and we don't bump today's music?
No, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of got me there.
Because I don't know why. And it's the same thing because our parents told us, oh, that music's crap. You should listen to this back then. And I feel like every generation is going to be like that. Everybody's going to say it wasn't like it was back then. You know,
No,
I feel
no, of
that way.
course. Like
I feel
honestly,
that way
I
with
can't wait.
music. and all that stuff.
No, of course. Like I can only imagine how ridiculous our music is gonna sound. Like I can't wait to be 60 and be like, oh, hey kids, hey, telling my grandkids, hey, this was the hottest song out, and like fucking play Juvenile and back that ass up. Like they're gonna be like, whoa. Right? Or
Uh, so I'm sure that you got people that are our age going to your parties and going to your shows, and with the stuff that's going out now, they probably want to listen to something else. But as a DJ, tell me if it's frustrating or not, because I get different answers when people constantly go up to the booth and request different songs.
oh god. I have this autopilot factor. And I mean right now I'm giving you the gems. Like
Okay.
only people close to me really know this. I have my autopilot factor, right? Where I kind of like, it's like I'm smiling. I look like I'm completely in tune with you. And like, we're having a conversation in a sense. You're telling me something and I'm there, but I'm not. Like, my whole head is in my laptop at that moment. And I'm just looking at you smiling, making you believe I'm really about to play your song.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Let me get these quick songs in
Nah, I
first.
just be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, but once in a blue, if somebody comes up genuinely, if they're like, hey, listen, it's a very special birthday, or just, you get what I'm saying, then I'll be like, no, of course. But like the pain in the ass people, I just flip on my autopilot.
The ones that the ones that had one too many vodkas, or this is my song. This is my song. You have to play it. All the girls are here.
Oh God, no, or the one that, hey, I'm about to leave.
I never heard that one. That one's good.
No, yeah, everyone's always gonna leave when they want to hear a song. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, everybody's like, oh no, hey, I'm about to walk out, and I'm be like, oh wow, man, I'm so sorry to hear that.
That sucks. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to doing this now.
Or the people that say, listen, dude, listen, play that song right now. Like, they come up a little aggressively. I'd be like, I'll play it, like, but you gotta pay me.
Nice. You have a little side hustle.
Yeah, right?
If you guys want your song played next, you better slip a 50 to Sammii Blendz at the parties.
Yeah, man. Or double up my booking. How about that?
Double up the booking. Get to talk to the owner. Hey, so Sammii, as people have know, obviously, but maybe don't address it as much. You are a woman in a male-dominated world. So now, did you get looks in the beginning, or do you still get looks now, or when they realize who you are and the fact that it's an irrelevant fact, but it's something that society, makes us think. We hear DJ, we think a guy, because that's the way it started, and then now a lot of females are doing it. Is it still as hard as one would believe for a female to go into the DJ world?
What's crazy? I was just having this conversation. Like, I was just explaining this to my wife. I'm like, yo, the pretty woman era, it's finally over. Cause I don't know if you recall, like probably for like the past, probably 2 years, it was more about a woman that looked provocative, but couldn't DJ for shit. Had absolutely no talent or anything, didn't take the craft serious or any of that, was absolutely getting booked out everywhere just because she was very appealing. Um, I think that era is finally over because club owners and promoters are realizing that parties are like going to shit because of the shit music. A lot of these females were coming up to play because they were more on like the model end of things.
Okay.
I would say being a female DJ, yes, it's intense because it is a male dominated industry. It's the same thing as being a female artist, and your lyrics are hard, but people want to hear you talk about your body or your looks or, other provocative things that they feel like sell. You understand what I'm saying? So I would just say when it comes to being a female DJ, don't sell yourself short. You understand? And come in and you got to go 10 times harder. Like, you got to go 100 times harder than whatever male. Like, really, you got to sit back, own your craft. You understand? Practice, 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 and literally let your hands get to talking. Like, I have, of course, gotten side-eyed, a lot of dirty looks, a lot of the whispers in the ears when I first woke up. It's always like that when I first woke up. But I don't choose to sit there and and catch an attitude or act aggressive or anything. Like, I live my life smiling. I'm literally always smiling. It's hard to like get me not smiling. So I just I walk up to my turntables and I just let the hands do the talking.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me about a certain story, maybe in the early stage of your career, where somebody may have underestimated you, and then at the end they're like, they give you, a fist bump or a dap and a hug and give you love after that.
You know what's crazy? That happens to me constantly.
Still happens today.
Yeah, like most new states that I'm going to, because like my brand is still growing and stuff like that. I've been doing this for a lot of years, but at the same time, like I still haven't touched base in a lot of places. So it still happens to me literally all of the time. Like as soon as I walk in, because like I'm not your average female neither. Like I am a gay female. You understand? I do dress I dress aggressive. You get what I'm saying? And, like they're looking at me. I'm just like, not only a female, I'm dressed different. I look different. Like I look like a freaking alien when I walk in. And a lot of people aren't expecting me to like talk on the mic, for me to be able to hold my tables, I like to call it.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool. Yeah. Hold your tables.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's literally every single time I go there, I haven't been somewhere that I normally haven't been. Like, I get a lot of love, like, over here at home, at places, and with people that I've worked with, and people that know me. You understand? But, as soon as I'm done DJing, the sour, me and my wife call them sour patches. The sour patches, they start smiling and like, oh, hey, like, yo, we should connect and all that. And I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no, just get my info from my wife, I got a cold shoulder those kind of people because I don't like weird vibes.
Do you give them that same autopilot smile?
Oh, yes. Oh, hell yes.
So let's talk about Princess Blendz. Where'd you guys meet? How long have you guys been together? Talk to me about Princess Blendz.
The princess.
The princess. She's probably standing right there next to you, trying to see what she's gonna say.
Nah, man. Me and her have been together now. Like we're about to go on 7 years practically. We met in the club. If it happened any other way, it wouldn't have made sense.
Right, of course.
But we met we were both, because our birthdays is literally a couple of days apart. So we're both Leos, which
okay.
Yeah, just imagine how
you're both Leos. Oh my God. All right.
Oh yes, both very hard-headed, stubborn, and like things their way. But we met during a birthday celebration. I was celebrating my birthday. She was also celebrating her birthday at this venue and stuff. And we had a mutual friend, so the mutual friend kind of introduced us. And I swear to God, that night, like, we were in separate situations at the time. There was no foul play for like years before, we initially hopped out of our situations. But literally that same night, you would have thought me and her like knew each other for like years. We were like, so they had brought out a birthday cake for me and stuff like that. I didn't really have nobody show up to my birthday celebration that year. And me and her ended up just celebrating together. They had like photos of us, her putting like cake on my face. It was crazy. And I would honestly say like it was just one of those we used to like playing like cat and mouse in a sense. Like she'll pop out to my venues from time to time. I'll see her from time to time and stuff like that. But we initially didn't make a move on each other until almost 2 years down the road.
Okay.
And yeah, then after that, it was like as soon as me and her, like, I would say really started like getting involved with each other, you would have thought I felt like we were already practically married. Like it was just, everything just mixed and marinated like perfectly. You know what I'm saying?
So talk about when gay marriage was legalized. What did that do for you guys? Besides the obvious, but how did you guys feel in that point of your relationship, taking that next step, and for people to be accepting of it?
I feel like it was a big win. Like it's so crazy because like what are you exactly? Are you Latino or like what are you?
Yeah, I'm Latino. Yeah, Hispanic.
So I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure at some point in your life, like, you've felt like someone was being, a bit racist to you or treating
Yeah,
you
of
different
course.
because of your ethnicity or something of the sort.
Hmm.
So now, along with being a minority, it's kind of like we also have the gay factor of things. So it's always one of those times too, because now you have two different people hating you just because you're you. You understand? So when that was legalized, like in all of the the LGBTQ centers and stuff like that, and all the gay clubs and everything, people were so overwhelmed and emotional that it was kind of like a huge transition in history of just being accepted just for who you are. It's kind of like you wanted to be accepted for the pigment of your skin. You understand what I'm saying? And people just being horrible to you and not allowing you to kind of like be you in the sense like that you have no fault in being you. Giving you that opportunity just to be like, yo, you know what? Like, we accept you. Like, why are we not just allowing you to be you? It doesn't make absolutely any sense. It's not really harming anyone.
Right.
It's not going to play another factor in anybody else's beliefs or anything of the sort or any of the things. Like, I would just say that was such an emotional time in history that I feel like in gay marriage, and I don't want anyone to take this wrong or anything of the sort. I just feel like people were so ecstatic and stuff that I would say maybe 30% of the community kind of jumped the gun instead of
Okay.
just trying to genuinely marry
Take that road.
someone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Take that time. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I just feel like it was just it was emotional and like, it was intense.
Do you feel like the fact that you had a rough upbringing, you didn't have your mom for a portion of your life, the fact that you're a female and male-dominated world, and you're gay, all those layers added on top of each other, do you think that allows you to have more empathy for people that are going through things?
Yes, most definitely. 100 and like 1,001%. Actually, like like I feel for people. Like it's one thing that my grandmother raised me upon. That is kind of like, listen, no matter what you're going through, somebody's always going through it a little worse, and you need to remember, not all human beings are able to intake like as much pain as others. In the sense, like you have some human beings that are gonna get more emotional about their dog dying than a family member. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're gonna intake that in such a wrong way, and it can make them implode or self-destruct. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I would just say, like, as far as everything I've been through, I feel like it's easier for me to relate to anyone who's possibly going through anything. Like, I'm not saying in the sense of we've been through the exact same things. That's the only way I get it. But I'm just talking about in any means or any factor because, psychologically speaking and even emotionally speaking, like, both those things and different factors can self-destruct you as a human being, and you can like lose yourself.
Wow.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm someone that I live by acceptance. Like I accept reality of things. Like I accepted the fact that my mom wasn't there. I accepted the fact I didn't have a father. I accepted the fact that you understand, like, this is my life, and I have to go through what I have to go through in order to help someone else around. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be some kind of hope in the world. Because if there's no
Yeah.
hope, then
That's something that's like a lot of people don't understand. Um, the other day, I was walking. I work at a restaurant, and so this lady was just constantly complaining about these people that were getting into church late, and
oh wow,
she just said, "Oh, when they come in, I'd look at them and I let them know that they shouldn't be coming in late." So I walked. I guess I walked in on the right part of the conversation because she turned to me and she goes, "What would you do if somebody walked into church late?" I'm like, just kept praying, keep worshiping, doing my thing." And she looked at me like, I'm like, well, whether or not they're on time, I still get all my church on. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's not gonna bother me. And then I think I killed her because I was like, I would be hypocritical to judge them, seeing that I'm in church and we
of
were taught
course.
not to judge. And then she just didn't talk to me for the rest of the meal. It was hilarious. I find it so funny when people get worked up over the smallest things. Like, yo, the sky is still blue, the grass is still green. My
Nah,
grandma
yeah.
used to tell me, my grandma used to tell me, you wake up and your legs work, you better not be bitching about anything. And I mean, not in those words, right? But she's like, there's nothing to
No, of
complain
course.
about. You woke up and your legs work. Like you know, there's so many people, like their kids walking 5 miles a day to get a bucket of water somewhere in the country, you know? And I'm so glad that you got that kind of energy and that kind of empathy for people that you want to give back and you want to make their lives better.
Nah, yeah, most definitely.
Speaking of making people's lives better, tell people about the Blends experience and what that is.
The Blendz experience. I feel like I have to really start. I need to invest more in like some cameras and stuff so that I can start catching absolutely every moment. The Blendz experience. I think the Blendz experience is like a test of your happiness because
Okay.
literally, me and my wife have yet to find anybody that's able to keep up with us because it's like we live this 24/7 kind of lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, we catch a little bit of sleep in between and stuff like that. But like me and her can go. Like we can like the Blends experience is all about like good energy. It's all about like living life to the fullest. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about I want to eventually take this and really start doing random events in different states and stuff like that. I just need to find the time and alternate those into concerts down the road, but alternate them
Okay.
into different kind of music concerts in the sense I don't want to give my whole idea out, but it's just gonna be something you have to see it live. That's the
So
experience. The experience is
that
the
that'll be
test
the
of
experience. You can't say anything about the experience unless you've experienced it.
exactly like you. It's kind of one of those seize the moments. Let's test your happiness. If you say you are a happy person, come experience the Blends experience. You understand what I'm saying? And test your happiness to the fullest. Because
And that's
one
something.
thing,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
no, continue, man.
Oh, I was just saying that your wife is also your business partner, who takes care of the Blends experience. And
Yeah.
I was just interested. I know we talked about her a little bit. I was just interested to know, what does her support mean to you in this experience that you have?
Oh no, when it comes down to her, oh, that's my biggest, like, she is my biggest critic. Like, if she feels like I'm not going hard, like, she tells me before every single one of my sets, before every time I'm about to hop on set, you better impress me. If you don't impress me, I'm gonna walk out.
Whoa.
So, yeah, no, yeah, my wife is a hard ass. Like, there is no, the only sweet thing that's there is the I love you sense.
That's it. I love you, but I'll
Yeah.
walk out. Okay.
Nah, yeah, she's really hard on me and stuff like that. But I appreciate it because it's like kind of funny to me and stuff like that. Because if she feels like I'm not going hard enough and stuff like that, she'll be like, "You're embarrassing. You need to
Oh,
go harder."
jeez, man.
Oh no,
Uh,
yeah.
you've been on. You were on Black Ink. I know you did a spot on Black Ink. Um, you had Drewski talk about you. You had Funk Flex share your stuff. How does it feel? You've been DJing since 2010, so it's going on 10 years. You were working so hard for it. How does it feel to get this, recognition from these big time players?
I mean, it feels good. Like I would say, I guess that I haven't really like sat really had like I haven't sat back at all and just really looked at a lot of the things I've accomplished. Like I have people around me sit me down and talk to me and tell me like, yo, you've come a long way. But I'm so focused on the next step that it's kind of like I haven't really like it hasn't hit me. I would
Hasn't
say,
hit you yet, not yet.
yeah, like it hasn't really hit me and stuff like that. Like like I'm extremely grateful. You get what I'm saying? And like I took that and I was just like, oh wow, like like that's huge. Like it really made me feel like wow, it coming from where I come from, it's like hard work eventually does begin to start paying off. You
That's
get what I'm
awesome.
saying? So it doesn't really feel like it was all for nothing. You get me?
Yeah.
That I'm looking back on my life with any type of regret, or resentment, like, damn, like maybe I should have done something else or anything of the sort. It's just like, I would just say, like, it makes me want to go harder.
So when you finally put away the turntables, what do you want people to remember about you?
When I pack up the turntables,
When you pack them up, when you're already 60 and you're teaching people about juvenile, and you're like, maybe the hip went out one too many times, and I got to put these away. What do you want
that,
people to remember about DJ Sammii Blendz?
um, I would want to be remembered, as a factor that played in changing the whole DJ game. In a sense, like I have many ideas. I'm really, really excited to start laying down. But I live my life by like a 5-year process. So I know whatever I'm going to begin to work on now, I'll begin to feel it in the next 5 years. But I just want to be remembered as someone who just kicked down the doors of opportunity and took everything in it and was able to give it back to people and give them a little small taste of life and give them their small piece that they can plant and grow into their very own. Like I want to be remembered, I guess, as like the DJ history's Robin Hood.
Oh, damn!
Like
We gotta get a soundbite out of that one. That was awesome. DJ history is Robin Hood. That sounds so dope.
that's my, that's what I want to look back on my life and say, you know what, I did it. And you know what's more important is that everybody else around me has the fruit of life that they can
Because of
take and
you.
turn into their own. No, not even because of me. I just feel like I played something in their self-consciousness, in a sense.
Okay.
I just gave them that piece, and I don't want to be remembered for anybody else's hard work. If people credit me, then I'll always appreciate that. But I feel like everybody lives the same 24 hours. And it's kind of like, what are you gonna do with those?
And you are just full of all these little quotes, Sammy, that make people want to tattoo these things on their arm.
Yeah, I don't talk
Um,
very much.
remind me never to get into a car with you.
Oh man.
So let's play a little word association. I'm gonna name a rapper, name somebody in the hip hop game, and you're just gonna tell me the first word that comes to your head.
Oh man.
All right, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right, Nas,
Legendary.
Biggie,
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Biggie,
Oh, bacon, egg, and cheese.
Bacon. Okay, Ti,
T.I. Oh, the South's kingpin right there.
Lil Baby,
Interesting.
Kendrick Lamar,
Not too much of a big fan.
not a big fan. Okay, Ludacris,
Funny.
Trippy Red. I needed to know who the hell that was. Trippy Red.
Joke.
Mob Deep,
Oh, that music.
music itself, and
Music itself.
Eminem,
Oh, that's the GOAT.
the GOAT. How about MC Light?
MC Light.
Yeah.
Oh, fan.
And Nicki Minaj.
Interesting.
Another interesting. Sammy, where can they find you on social media?
Oh, everybody can follow me at DJ Sammii Blendz, double I's at the end. I'm on all social media platforms. Instagram is one of my main ones, so I would tell anybody hit me there, and hit that hashtag Miss Catch Me if you can. I'll be in your city soon, hopefully.
Miss Catch Me If You Can. Where's your next show?
I leave to LA. It's kind of hard with this Corona thing going on. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have to, God forbid, cancel my dates. Hopefully not.
They canceled South by Southwest already.
Yeah, I know, that's ridiculous. Like, I was supposed to be down in LA from April 3rd to the 13th. I had like those whole 10 days booked out. So that was supposed to be my next show. God willing, everything falls through, and they just pop up with this cure tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm
So you're
supposed
gonna
to be
be out
going
in
to.
LA.
Yeah, I have LA, I have Washington D.C., Orlando, and Miami coming up, and hopefully I'm doing Baltimore.
Okay. Well, you got to get a show in Texas.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I keep on missing Texas. Like I've been dying to go over there.
Yeah, you would love Houston or Austin.
Hey,
It's gonna be DJ Sammii Blendz. That's two eyes, right?
yes, two eyes.
And Miss Catch Me if you can. Make sure you guys follow her because she is so dope, and I'm so glad that I had you on the show. I really, really appreciate your time. I know we've been talking about this for the past few months, and I'm so glad we finally got to sit down and talk about things. And I hope you enjoyed your time here. Really appreciate you.
Nah, yeah, most definitely. Thank you for having me. It was a very very entertaining conversation.
I appreciate that. Anybody listening, make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, DNC Digital. Hit this with a like, subscribe, let your buddies know. Anybody who's a fan of hip hop needs to know about DJ Sammii Blendz. This is D for DNC Digital, and I am out.